YouTube, what is good? I know this typically isn't what we watch. As you can see right here, this typically isn't what we watch. But I mean, if you look at the NBA Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals, if you guys have been genuinely watching the games, we know who's going to be in the finals at this point. It's all set in stone now. Well, it's not set in stone, but it will be very, very soon. So yeah, man. So basically on the West side, the Lakers are going to end up getting swept by the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunate, but it's the sad truth, the sad reality of it. And then on the side of the East, I never thought I would say this, but the Miami Heat are on the verge of sweeping the Boston Celtics and advancing to the NBA Finals. I thought it would have went the other way around, but hey, I mean, shoot, the NBA can be unpredictable at times. But yeah, man, we are here with a video coming from Jimmy High Roller. And this video is talking about the harsh truth about Victor Wembanyama. He's gonna be going to the San Antonio Spurs more than likely. I mean, he's a solid #1 pick. I mean, I think it's set in stone at this point that he's gonna be the #1 pick, and that's gonna go to the San Antonio Spurs. So Victor Wembanyama and Greg Popovich, hey man, I think they could really do some stuff, man, over there in San Antonio. But yeah, man, before I get into this video, bro, it was just announced a couple hours ago, man. Carmelo Anthony has officially retired, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I thought he was going to eventually come back. But yeah, man, Carmelo Anthony has retired. He's had a great career. Multiple gold medals. Multiple all-time selections. I think he's 9th in all-time scoring, in the all-time scoring list. 19 NBA seasons. I mean, bro, he's been there for some of our whole childhood. Literally, when I was born, Carmelo was probably in his 2nd or 3rd season in the NBA. That's crazy, man. Retiring, and he's still, like, if you put him on any team, he could still give you buckets, though. He could genuinely give you buckets. If you put him on the Lakers right now, he could still give you buckets. But yeah, man, Carmelo's hanging it up, passing the torch down to his son, who's probably gonna get drafted maybe in 2025, something like that, 25, 26. But yeah, man, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into this video about Jimmy High Roller, talking about the harsh truth about Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, man, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Just coming with some light today on this Monday. And yeah, man, let's see what he's got to say about this #1 pick.
In 1997, the San Antonio Spurs were one of the worst teams in the entire NBA, finishing the season with just 20 wins and with a rookie head coach leading the way. Their future was uncertain. Their two best players were an aging Dominique Wilkins, just 1 year away from his last NBA season, and their franchise player in David Robinson, who was sidelined with a season-ending injury that would linger for the rest of his career. The franchise was in a downward spiral with no end in sight. But what they did have was one more chance to make it right. Coming off the worst season in franchise history, the Spurs were given the 3rd best odds to get the 1st overall pick in the 1997 draft. Exactly what the organization needed to rejuvenate their roster. But according to pre-draft evaluations, the gap between the potential 1st pick and the 3rd pick was massive. Get the 3rd pick and settle for a small forward out of Utah named Keith Van Horn, or win the lottery and land on the best NBA prospect in over a decade, a 4-year starter out of Wake Forest by the name Tim Duncan. And on the day of the draft lottery, the future of the Spurs franchise and the future of the NBA would change forever.
The 2nd pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. And that means that the 1st pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio
this wasn't the Allen Iverson draft.
Congratulations.
I was about to say.
See this guy right here? That's Spurs chairman Peter Holt. And in this moment, he was the happiest man on earth because he just won the 1st overall pick in the 97 NBA draft. Who he would pick was already a foregone conclusion. But not Peter or anyone else at the time knew that the Spurs just won the rights to one of the greatest players in the history of the game. And this very moment was the beginning of one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. And now 26 years later, luck would have it that the Spurs have found themselves right in the middle of another historic night once again, because they now have the rights to the #1 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. And the prospect they plan on picking up is claimed to be bigger and better than anything we have ever seen. As we get closer...
Anything we've ever seen? Huh? LeBron? LeBron? MJ? Hello? Kobe? Hello? Okay, well, if y'all say that.
to draft day, the hype
Hey,
surrounding Victor
I heard
Wembanyama
Victor
is
Wembanyama
growing
was
by
something
the
special
minute.
though. I ain't been able to
Experts
watch
and
his
analysts
highlights, but
claiming
I know he's
the
like a
greatest
Kevin
prospect
Durant
in the
plus like
history
5
of the
inches.
sport. Some even claiming he's the best prospect of any sport ever. The franchise that gets him believed to have hit the basketball
sport?
jackpot that will
Any
set
sport?
them up for 2 decades of success and championships. But how good can one prospect actually be? Fans already talking about future championships for the Spurs since they've
That was a
essentially
mean
landed
block.
Victor. But turning potential greatness into real winning and championships is a task that very few players have ever been capable of doing.
Hey, let's get it, man. Let's hear it.
Out of the last 25 number 1 overall draft picks, how many
Yeah.
do y'all think have won a Finals MVP? Maybe 4 or 5?
2.
How about 1? There has been one number 1 overall pick in the last 25 seasons who has won a Finals MVP.
Wow.
But Finals MVPs are about the toughest thing
Derrick
to win
Rose
in all of
would've.
basketball. So what about regular season MVPs? How many of the last 25 first overall picks have won at least one of those? 2. LeBron
Derrick
James
Rose.
and Derrick Rose. That's it. But how about this? How many of the last 25 number 1 overall picks do you think have won a championship? They could be a role player for all I care, as long as they have
Hold on, let me make a good assumption. If you guys can't see, hold on, let me move this real quick. It's gonna glitch out a little bit. Okay, so you see DeAndre Ayton. Okay, so we're gonna X him out, X Zion Williamson out. Okay, so up here,
ring
Anthony Bennett. Okay, so let me see. I think 1, 2, 3. Nah, not Elden Brand. 4, 5. Wow, I think that's it. Only 5.
But the answer
5.
is still just 6. Winning
6?
in the NBA is very, very hard to
Dwight
do.
Howard won a
But fans and
championship?
experts are already putting
Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, I forgot he was on the Lakers.
Why you bullying me?
Oh my, I forgot Dwight Howard was on the Lakers, bro. I'm so sorry, Dwight Howard. I'm so sorry, man.
this burden
I
on a
forgot.
kid who hasn't even been drafted yet. But we've done this before. Unrealistic hype and expectations met with inevitable disappointment. It feels like just yesterday, Zion Williamson was being regarded as the greatest basketball prospect of the decade. And yet here we are, 4 years later, and Zion has played in just 29 games over the last 2 seasons and
That's
has
crazy.
yet to play in a single playoff game.
They gotta
Great
trade
player,
Zion, bro.
But as of right
Just
now,
get rid of him,
far
bro.
from the franchise-altering force he was hyped up
He's
to be.
risky. He's too
Here's
risky.
another player who was said to be a generational prospect coming into the NBA. Nicknamed the Fresh Prince, being that he was the successor to LeBron King James.
Who?
This is Ben Simmons, a player that was too afraid to take a shot in a playoff game and peaked in his 2nd season in the league. And we
Crazy.
do this to young players far more often than you would think.
I think
DeAndre
we
Ayton
jinx it a lot.
is a solid NBA player. Nowhere near a superstar, but he could be a key piece on a championship-winning team. Now, would you believe that just 3 months before he was drafted, he was labeled as a, quote, anomaly? In the moment, it always feels like the next guy up is going to be the guy. And then shortly after, we forget about the unwarranted comparisons and move on to the next guy. But to really understand how rare it is to draft a player who becomes an all-time great, stays healthy, and stays loyal to the franchise that drafted him, we have to look at the teams and players who actually did it. If we're talking about transcendent players who led the team that drafted
Kobe.
them to multiple championships, then that list only includes 7 players who were drafted in the modern NBA. Over 3,000 players drafted since 1980, and 7 of them went on to be a loyal, franchise-altering talent. These players right here are icons, legends in their franchise and to the game, and they only come around about once in a decade. Now, if Victor is as good as advertised, he could be added to this list one day. But the path to get there is long and riddled with players
He's
who
gotta
fell
bulk up
short.
too, bro.
But in the NBA, even the stars, superstars, and once-in-a-generation talents struggle to win the ultimate prize. Luka Doncic has been a phenom since he entered the NBA, so far exceeding all pre-draft
True.
expectations. And yet 5 seasons into his NBA journey, and he has yet to see the finals, and even missed the playoffs in this last season. Kevin Durant is one of the
I mean, but we can't. Kevin Durant, okay, I understand. He's been in the league for the past, wow, Kevin Durant's been in the league for the past 15 years? 15? Yeah, it'd be about 15 years. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. Luka, he's only been in the league for 5 years. Only 5 years, bro. He still got a whole nother, at least 10 years. I think Luka could play to year 15, possibly, if he can just stay healthy. Which he has been able to, kind of. But yeah, he's only in his 5th year.
greatest players to ever touch a basketball. But even he had to abandon the team that drafted him to join a juggernaut of a team to win a championship.
True.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Joel
KD
Embiid,
and pure blood.
the list of all-time great players who have yet to win a title or find any real success in the playoffs is massive, which makes the expectations on Wembanyama all the more baffling. To think that a 19-year-old can come into a struggling franchise and turn everything around may not be realistic. And even worse, it may not even be fair to the young man. Ironically, the best turnaround directly caused by a rookie in modern NBA history was by Tim Duncan. After the Spurs drafted Duncan, their win total jumped from 20 wins in 1997 to 56 wins in 1998. A 36-win jump in Timmy's first season with the team and a championship in his second season. This is by far the greatest leap a team has ever seen simply by adding a rookie to their roster. Larry Bird was another immediate franchise-altering player for the Celtics, but that was nearly half a century ago. LeBron couldn't do it, KD couldn't do it, Steph and Michael took years to pull it off, and yet somehow we don't just want, but we expect this 19-year-old kid to do it. I really think some fans don't understand the pressure that they are putting on Wembanyama. He could be great, amazing, injury-free, generational, and to expect this level of excellence out of him could still be far too much. Over the past 25 seasons, the average MVP finishes the season with a win share total of 15.2. Over that same time span, the average All-Star has a win share total of 10. And among the 450 active players in any given season, the average single-season win share total across the league is just 2. Now, over the last 25 years, among number 1 overall picks in their rookie season, the average win share total is 4.2. That number jumps to 5.7 in their second season and then hits 7.9 in their third season. But by season 4, many of these once prodigies start to lose their minutes. They fall out of the rotation, they fail to adapt their game and skill sets to the NBA, and the average win share falls to 6.7. And by season 5, by the time we as fans have made a decision on these players, the average win share total falls to just 5.9, about the same as the average starter in the NBA. This is the career of an average number 1 overall pick in the NBA. We see number 1 overall players as the guys who went on to have great careers, guys like Kyrie and Anthony Davis and LeBron. But we forget that far more often, these number 1 overall picks pan out to be players like Markelle Fultz, Andrea Bargnani, and Kwame Brown. But even for the groundbreaking prospects who are league ready the day they put on an NBA jersey, the result is still rarely a championship or real hardware or impact. Over the last 25 years, the players who had the largest impact in their rookie season were Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, and Blake Griffin, followed by the 12 next best rookies of the last 25 seasons. You are looking at the greatest rookie seasons of this century, and yet only half of them were even the best player on their team by the end of their first season in the league. But I want y'all to take a guess at how many of these players even made the playoffs in their rookie season. Got your answer? 2. Which means out of the 15 best rookies who've entered the league over the last 25 seasons, not a single one of them led their team to the playoffs. And among these same 15 rookie sensations, by their third season in the league, only 4 of them managed to lead their team to the playoffs as the best player on the team. It is very hard to win in the NBA. But like some sort of gambling addict, us NBA fans like to count the wins while ignoring the losses. Somehow the countless misses we've had are outweighed by the 1 or 2 we got right. Is Victor Wembanyama the most hyped NBA prospect of all time? Well, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Some experts that have been around a lot longer than I have would like to say so. But if my memory serves me right, I can recall a 17-year-old LeBron James drawing so much attention that he—
Bro, and you know what the crazy thing is? Bro, I've been hearing on social media, bro, people are saying that this dude has way more hype than LeBron James. What? He has way more hype coming into the league than LeBron. Are you serious right now, bro? Are you serious right now, bro? Come on. We can't be serious. You have to be playing with me right now. There's no way.
he managed to have an Ohio high school basketball game featured on national television. Long before social media, the likes of LeBron James, Patrick Ewing, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were all household names before they even put on an NBA jersey. I don't know if Wembanyama is at that level of hype at the moment, but he's getting there. And with that amount of hype comes overwhelming pressure to perform. It's easy to sit back and watch this kid play, see his incredible tools in action, 7 feet 5 inches tall, 8-foot wingspan with a silky smooth jump shot and world-class defensive instincts, and one can only assume he will find immediate or even eventual success in the form of championships and cultural impact in the NBA.
Watching him, bro, he's so mobile.
Coaches and scouts who have been around the game for decades and have seen every prospect rise through the ranks over the years are saying Victor Wembanyama is better than all of them. It would take an era-defining talent to come into the NBA and transform a franchise into a dynasty. But if Victor is everything we think he is, he may just be the next player to do it.
Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and look at the Victor Wembanyama highlights, because I remember it was probably like 5 months ago, something like that. We watched a video that was talking about Victor Wembanyama, and now we're here. The draft is about to happen maybe in another month or so. I think it happens in June, shortly after the NBA Finals or during the NBA Finals, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, I might have to go back and re-look, because I guess my memory is kind of faint. I don't know. I don't see him as like, I see him as being a superstar. He could very well be a superstar. Maybe like a KD. Of course KD, because he's mobile and he's plus 5 inches taller than KD, something like that, and he can do everything that KD can do. So I mean, bro, like, I don't know. I think he'll be a very solid, he will be a superstar. Now, greatest of all time, coming in, championship. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe in his first season with the San Antonio Spurs, like, they'll be adjusting, trying to rebuild. They'll be in the rebuilding process, or I mean, they already are in the rebuilding process, but I mean, like, they'll be trying to fit more pieces around him once they get to, so that first season is going to be like more adjusting to his play style, trying to fit the right players with him, because they're trying to make him the franchise player. And then next season, as the seasons go on, I think they'll be able to find better and better pieces to go with him. But yeah, man, I don't think it'll be like a first immediate jump. This guy is just like, what, Pam, like, come on, like, I just don't see it happening, man. Like, all the times we've said it was supposed to happen, it never happened. Even Zion didn't happen. Still hasn't happened. Bro's been in the league for dang near 5 years, bro. And we already talked about trading Zion, bro. The Pelicans. So yeah, man, that's gonna go ahead and conclude today's video. I had to drop this one, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, this is NOT signing off, man. Love you guys. Peace. I didn't want to watch the NBA highlights because I watched him and I'm hearing about him, bro. It's over. It's over. We're gonna get the Heat and the Nuggets in the finals. Who's gonna win? I don't know. The playoffs have been unpredictable. Every single team that I said was going to make it did not make it. I said my team, the Clippers, were gonna make it. We got eliminated. I said the Warriors were gonna make it. They got eliminated. Second round. I said, who else did I say? I said the 76ers were gonna make it. Didn't even make the conference finals. They got smoked. I said that the Boston Celtics were gonna beat the Miami Heat. I said the Lakers were gonna beat the Nuggets. Swept and swept. So at this point, I'm not even gonna pick sides. I'm just gonna watch, because every time I choose somebody, it's always the complete opposite. Like, I've been so off these playoffs. I don't think I've been right on anything I've said in these playoffs. Anything. But yeah, man, it's gonna go ahead and conclude today's video, bro. Next video will for sure absolutely be an NBA highlight video, probably one of the teams getting eliminated or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, this is NOT signing off, man. Love you guys. Peace. Make sure you guys stay healthy, stay away from people who are sick, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace. No water for y'all today. I drank both bottles. I'm filled.